Hi, knitters. So you want to start knitting and you know a little of the beginning techniques. So now what do you do? In order to get started making a project, you need to learn how to choose a pattern. But choosing a pattern can be fun. It can be a lot of fun. But there's a few things to know. Beginner's patterns are always on straight needles. A straight needle pattern, the project will be done knit flat. So sometimes they're called patterns that are knit flat. And sometimes they're called projects on 2 needles because that describes them. Your needles, you need 2 straight needles to do them. When you're looking up patterns, usually you will find a book of patterns, a magazine. If it's a certain designer that you like, you'll find them all grouped together. But these days, probably the easiest way is to find them online. But if you're looking online, be careful. If you search for beginner patterns, you're going to maybe run into circular needles, patterns that are knit in the round. Those circular needles or DPNs. DPNs. But those are not what you want. Those are for beginners in that style. But that's not a good place to start. You need to learn how to do the straight needles, and then after that, you can move on to the others. But start with patterns that are knit flat or that are knit on 2 needles. And see, so when you find a pattern, it's going to, at the top of the pattern, at the beginning, it's going to be marked what skill level it is. You'll find that some might say easy, or some might say beginner, or level 1. So start low and move your way up. I really have to say, this is probably my favorite part of a pattern, is planning it, picking a pattern, picking something that is practical and useful, and sometimes something for me, and something very colorful. But even though I love it, it can be a little overwhelming. Like when you go into a store and you see all those colors, where do you start? It can be so confusing. So I have a few tips. I suggest that there's so many patterns to choose from out there. I suggest that you stay practical. That's a good way to go. That's definitely my place to be. You make gifts, and you can make things for charity. You can make home decor. Those are all practical things to do. And it's also a good idea to keep it simple. At least for now, keep it simple. Let the yarn work for you. So pick a yarn that has bright colors, Maybe it's got more than one color in it. You can find yarn that has it's one strand, but it will change colors. So it might go pink, then light pink, then white, then who knows, maybe in more pink, and start all over again. So there's lots you can find yarns with little dots in it. So that way you can keep the pattern simple. Keep the pattern simple and the yarn not so simple. The yarn will work for you. That's the easiest way. It makes it look like you did all kinds of work. And it's a lot easier than might seem. It's a good idea to pick a pattern that is short, that won't take long for you to do. Afghans might seem simple. It's easy to do, and it seems like it's a great project. Have an Afghan lying around the house, and you can take all the credit and say that you did it. But Afghans are a lot of work. So don't make that a good project, but not a first project. I get up to about your knees, and then I start wanting to change. It's just a lot. So they're not fun to do. So it's easier if you pick short things like hats or maybe coasters, dishcloths, something short. Because then you'll get your product done faster, and then you'll feel better that you can do it and you're going to get it done. It's also important to know where to get help. There's a lot of knitting groups popping up these days. A knitting group is important. It's nice to learn just to hear about people talking all about the wool and where they got it and the kinds of projects they've been doing. I'm part of a knitting group. We just get together at the library and we all sit in a circle and we do our own projects. Some people are doing hats and some people are doing scarves. But it's nice to talk about the projects we're doing, the problems that we're having, hear about different ideas, different things people are doing. Maybe somebody can help with a tricky spot that you're running into trouble with. I love going to my knitting. If you're working by yourself, if you're choosing a pattern all alone, there's a good site that you can go to. Lots of good sites, but one in particular might help you. It's called Ravelry. And Ravelry just brings all of the other patterns together. And you'll find lots and lots and lots of things to choose from. And you'll find your fellow knitters there, and they've done stuff for you to look at too. So there's project ideas for you. That's a great place to start. I have an encyclopedia of knitting techniques, and that's a good place because sometimes they ask you to do some kind of stitch or a technique that you forget about. It's hard to keep everything in your mind. So sooner or later, you're going to need a little help. So I use my encyclopedia. But these days, Google is the best kind of encyclopedia. And of course, there's other things like YouTube that they'll remind you how to do that stitch if you forget. So try using those things that are easily at hand and see the less you need to buy, the better. So Google doesn't cost any of us. And my fifth tip for you is to enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, there's no point. You need to do something fun. Pick a fun pattern. Pick a fun project. Have fun. Enjoy. If you don't want to be sitting and knitting, then there's no point in any of this. So find something that you enjoy. Come to my channel and we'll explore some other ideas and some other tips for you. So go have fun.